Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're talking about attack angle. Now, I've done a couple of videos on attack angle, and one with driver, one with irons, and the importance and how it really has a huge impact on all of the variables that TrackMan measures. Today I wanted to give you another layer of understanding on attack angle. And as I say, this is part of the TrackMan data series. I've only got attack angle up on the screen, and attack angle is something that I believe is a bit mysterious for a lot of golfers. If you've not checked it out, do check out my attack angle video on the driver, because understanding how you create attack angle with the driver is really insightful on that video, and it's been a very popular video for the channel. Attack angle for a golfer gives him the sense that the ball is going to come off faster. And the reason why it feels like the ball is going to come off faster is because when we hit more down, we invariably create less dynamic loft. Less dynamic loft makes the golf ball go further. If you are someone that is a fader of the golf ball and you hit more down, when you are hitting a fade at only 1 degree down, let's say you're hitting your 9-iron 120 yards, if you were to hit down another 3 or 4 degrees, you would hit that 9-iron, if you kept everything the same, another 10 yards. And the reason for that is because if you hit down 3 or 4 degrees more, with everything being equal, you would hit with the golf club at 4 degrees less dynamic loft. And less dynamic loft means the ball goes lower invariably, it launches lower, it will spin slightly lower, and the ball will go further. Therefore, attack angle is a big player when it comes to making a golfer feel powerful. I'm going to start us off with hitting just a 9-iron I've got here, and I'm just going to keep everything the same, and I'm just going to vary a couple of attack angles. So the first one, I'm going to hit as close to 0 as I can. No, that was rubbish, Stuart. That was too much down. So we're 3.2 down. So we're going to make that a little bit lighter. And as soon as I start to get the attack angle lighter, what happens is the ball starts to launch higher. So you can see the peak of the ball flight is really popping out the top of the screen there. Now when I change the attack angle to lower and I make the attack angle more negative, we can see that the ball hit the net much lower and the ball's peak flight is now much lower on the screen. I go back to less attack angle. Now all of a sudden the golf ball hits higher up the screen and we can see how the peak of the flight popped out the sky. Understand that attack angle is useful for a couple of things, probably more than that, but when you hit more down, you have a more opportunity of hitting ball then turf. Doesn't guarantee it, but it gives you the opportunity to have a more abrupt descent angle on the ground. When you're doing that with an iron, because you've got so much loft in your hands, it feels very doable. So when I'm standing here hitting my 9-iron and I'm going to create 7 or 8 degrees of downstrike, it feels super easy to do, because when I've got 7 degrees of downstrike and I'm hitting down, because I've got so much loft in my hands, it feels really easy to do. Kick that down the street a little and now take out my 4-iron and now do exactly the same thing, and we look for a 6 or 7 degree attack angle down. Now all of a sudden look how the ball flights come out really low. Now if you haven't got the club head speed to facilitate a ball flight and spin rate at 7 degrees, you will battle. If I swing that golf club slower at 7 degrees down, so I swung the golf club considerably slower, I hit down at 6 degrees, look, the ball barely took off. I hit back down at 7 odd degrees with more club head speed, all of a sudden we'll see the ball flight's going to have more elevation, more flight, because the ball speed is greater, because my club head speed is greater. Understand, therefore, that if you are a lady golfer and you're only hitting down at 1 or 2 degrees and your club head speed with a 7-iron is around 50 degrees, let me tell you, you wouldn't want to increase that attack angle because you just won't get the ball airborne. If you're someone swinging at 7-iron at 100 miles an hour and you're hitting down 3 or 4 degrees, you're going to see a ball flight that's coming out uber high. You've got 2 options. You either hit more down or decrease the dynamic loft or the static loft on your iron. So attack angle is a fluid measurement. It's not one size fits all. You've got to therefore appreciate how fast you swing the golf club, because at the start, when you're understanding how far you hit the golf ball via club speed, not ball speed. Ball speed, this passion of talking about ball speed, I think confuses a lot of people. If we talk about club speed, it's a lot more translatable measurement across the variety of golfers, because you have some clubs that have a bigger trampoline effect off the face than other clubs. And as soon as you talk about ball speed, you lose the opportunity to have a baseline measurement. If you are a girl or guy golfer that creates a lot of club head speed, you have a few more ingredients open to you. You can hit more down. But you have more club speed, you will be more subject to higher spin rates. So there's positives and negatives for both directions of low or high club head speed. So attack angle is very much fluid relative to your club speed. But if we were to work on if you sit with a 7-iron in the window of somewhere in the region of 75 miles an hour to 90 miles an hour, 85, 90 miles an hour, an attack angle for a mid-trajectory ball flight with a 7-iron is around the region of 2.5 to 3 degrees down, all the way up to 5.5 degrees down. You're going to play some good golf in that attack angle range. I'm going to go back to my 9-iron. So we've discussed how attack angle has an impact and we have to correlate it with club speed. We also have to correlate it with the club we've got in our hand. If I'm hitting a 9-iron, I feel very comfortable that when I'm trying to hit a shot, that I can make an attack angle of around 3 or 4 degrees down. That is going to work out nicely for me. When I then come back to my 4-iron and then I swing and hit the 4-iron, because I've got the golf ball further forwards in my stance, if I was to create the same feels with my levers, the fact that I meet the ball later in my stance, the golf ball is now going to feel less attack angle. And because it's going to feel less attack angle, it will then start to have a higher ball flight. So I'm still hitting down, but understand that when you are hitting less down, if you've got a poor lie, you're going to be subject to a poorer contact or the opportunity for a poorer contact. Because when the ball sits down more, we need a slightly steeper angle of attack to create a better strike. Therefore, the attack angle is not only fluid when it comes to your club head speed, not only is it fluid to the club you're using, but it's also fluid with the lie that you've got. So if you turn up and you want to push the ball down the fairway a long way and the ball's sat down, what you might want to do is go, well, what's the shot that I've got here? I need to move it down the fairway on a par 5. The ball is sat down in a hole. I don't need ball flight. I haven't got a bunker to carry over, but I do want to move it down the fairway. I want to make my golf ball go as far as I can with the lie that I've got. So you might want to put the ball back in your stance. You might want to then feel how much more of a descent angle that you're going to create on the ball to get ball and turf. And in doing that, you create such a flat ball flight, but it doesn't matter because you're trying to move the ball down the fairway. Now come back to the middle of the fairway. I've got myself a good lie. I've got a front flag over water. The last thing I want is that kind of ball flight. So the ball then goes further forwards in my stance. I then think about having a less attack angle down through strike. And then I start to get myself a much higher ball flight so I can get the ball coming into the flag much higher and softer. So in old money, it used to be open the face, close the face to change the ball flight. It might have been move it a little bit, but changing the ball flight can work in attack angle more than anything else. And if you've used TrackMan enough, there is an optimizer function on the screen that allows you to set high, low or medium flighted shot, and TrackMan changes the attack angle for the flight of shot that you need to see. So understand that changing ball flight comes down to how we use the levers and the attack angle that we present. I can also change the attack angle not by moving the ball, just by changing my levers. So I keep the ball in the same place and I'll hit 3 or 2 shots here. Ball's in the same place, as you can see from the face on camera. There's the low attack angle, so the ball's going to come out low. Then I'm going to keep the ball in exactly the same spot. I'm now going to change how my levers work. And there's the lesser of the attack angles, and the ball now flies higher. If you want to find out how to do that, go check out my attack angle video on the driver. Using the attack angle measurement is a really great way of understanding how you can get a better strike, how it's really applied to the speed that you create in your golf swing, and how it's going to be applied to the lie you've got and, as I say, the flight you see as well. I don't really want to go into too much more detail on how you create attack angles, but I think it's important that you understand how influential they are. So when you're talking about a TrackMan and a simple data point of the attack angle, it really has an impact on what you're going to see and how well you're going to strike the golf ball. And look, let's leave with one more nugget of information. All things being equal, if you want to hit a fade and you want to hit a draw, the more you tend to hit down on the golf ball, steeper angle of attack there, the more we will tend to see the ball fade to the right. And the more we don't hit down, the more we allow the club head to pass us through strike, the more likely we are to hit a draw. And so using the attack angle can also change the bend in the sky. It's really interesting because if you do get an opportunity to use the TrackMan, it does give you great insight into what your biases are, what you're good at and what you're not good at to make the ball fly. I think we've been led down a road of so much restriction and being constrained on what we must do to make the ball go straight. As you'll have seen with a lot of my videos, if you're playing straight, you're an idiot. Because if you're trying to play straight, you just won't be satisfied for very long. I hope that's been useful. Do hit the like, share and subscribe while you're here, and I think you agree. That's good coaching. Take it easy.